Good day, everyone. This is Pipe Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at lasers and DDO and on the tabletop. Please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drek. How was your week?
Yeah. I've had one of my weeks from hell, and it's not getting any better. But hey, here we are. For those of you that thought, hey, they hit 300 and they're done. Oh, you were wrong. We are recording 301 right now. We're still here.
We are still here.
Sorry about your luck.
Oh, well.
It just took a little while to get to 301. But we managed to do it. We recorded 300, released it, and now we're doing another episode. So we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. Then let's see what we are doing this week and head on into the game news, where we are getting a free questing coupon. Thank you from Standing Stones Games.
That's right. They did this last year, you might remember. So if you, for some reason, were sleeping and you missed out on it, go. Stop what you're doing right now. I realize you're listening to the podcast. You can listen to the podcast and go do this at the same time, though. Unless you're on your computer watching it on YouTube, and then that's going to be really awkward, but figure it out. Go. In-game. Enter this code. DDO Quest 2021. DDO QUESTS 2021. That is redeemable through December 31st of 2021. What that is going to do is going to give you almost the complete game. The only thing you are not going to get with this, of course, is the expansion packs, because you have to buy expansion packs. But you're going to get, as near as I can tell, other than the expansion packs, you're going to get every other quest pack that has ever been available. If there's something out of here that's missing that I don't know, please let me know. But I've looked at this quest list a couple times, and I'm not seeing anything that is missing out of here. So you're pretty much going to get the complete game minus expansion packs, of course. So this is great for like a new player. So if you have anybody that you want to get to start playing DDO, now's the time to do it, because they're going to have a crap ton of content to run through. Or if you're a premium player or a free-to-play player, and you maybe, for instance, don't have Tangleroot Gorge yet. You never bought that. Or you don't have Shadow Under Thunderholm. Or maybe you never bought the Red Fens or the Soul Splitter. Put this code in. You'll own it on your account. It is permanently unlocked on your account. So go do this. There is no excuse not to enter this. And keep in mind, VIPs can also enter this code as well. So if you ever let your VIP subscription lapse, you will have this stuff unlocked on your account as well, even though you were a VIP at the time you did it. So do that. You can use this code as a free player, a premium player, and of course, a VIP player. With this as well, you can go into the DDO store, and for 99 points through December 31st, you can also pick up Menace of the Underdark, the Shadowfell Conspiracy, and Mist of Ravenloft expansions. So pretty much with this code, and if you buy those 3 expansions, you're pretty much set. And then by the time the 2 newest expansions go on sale in the store at some point, you'll have the points saved up and you'll be ready to go.
Now, I noticed that they have the Evening Star Challenge pack in here, but not the Caneth Challenge pack.
Yeah, I noticed that too, which is sort of weird.
Maybe it's because of the currency they have on there with the special thing with
maybe, yeah, I don't know,
VIPs and all.
I'll have to ask Cordovan about that, why that's not included. And I did notice just right now as I was like scrolling down through this list of all the packs, this code actually gives you White Plume Mountain now. I don't remember White Plume being included with the code that they did last year. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it seems like White Plume might be a new addition to this list. So,
well, there are probably a couple of them, because it probably includes everything except the most recent stuff. So the
true.
stuff that was
so
excluded last year might have been added.
Moral of the story, go do this. You have no excuse not to enter this. Free premium RVIP. Enter it. Get a ton of content.
There you go. Free questing coupon. Now, let's then head on because I've heard a rumor that Night Rebels has returned.
It is. Yay, it's Night Rebels time. God, I love Night Rebels so much. So much. Oh, and I'm hoping I can find some time to go grind Night Rebels to get some stuff that I want. But yes, Night Rebels is back. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But just know, Night Rebels is back. So if you're a fan of Night Rebels, go. Get those keys. And then go get the candies. Keep in mind, too, a lot of people were shocked, which I'm not sure why people were shocked because they did tell you this was going to happen. Any candies and anything that you had gotten during last year's Night Rebels, they are no good now. So you're going to have to get all new candies.
What? Candy expiring?
Yeah, exactly. It's shocking. I think the problem is just last year they didn't do it because of the whole pandemic thing. They kind of threw us a bone and just kind of like, we won't make it expire. It expired. So there was people, I think, just thought they were just going to waltz in and get like all the stuff. No. That is not how it works, my friends. Not how it works.
Well, then, let's then have a look at what we have in Update 50.4, which includes, well, obviously, updates to the Night Rebels.
Yes, that was the main thing that 54 introduced. There was some other things, but of course, they always have to take the servers down to bring up the Night Rebels. So the Night Rebels have returned. The Night Rebels event is back with some changes for 2021, along with some new rewards. This year, players will no longer need to gather Night Rebels keys by running in Dalera's Graveyard's landscape. Although you can still do that if you wish.
Oh?
So no more grinding keys. So see, Pine Leaf, we don't have any excuse not to do Night Rebels now. Because that was your biggest problem with it, was having to go out in the graveyard and keep grinding to get enough keys. There is no
those
excuse.
Keys that never drop.
There is no excuse for you not to run Night Rebels with me this year, Pine Leaf. At least once. We'll see if I can get him to do it. There's also a new champion type that is only going to appear when Night Rebels is active. It's called the Shadow of Maybar. The Shadow of Maybar can be found in Quest when you're running it on hard difficulty and above, of course, just like any other champions. Defeating these champions is going to provide a chance for a chest to appear, and in that chest could contain pieces of dark chocolate and sometimes a Night Rebels key. Additionally, there is going to be a small chance to find Darkest Chocolate or Night Rebels keys in any chest inside of Quest when the event is active.
Okay, so what are the keys for now if you don't need them?
Once you have acquired a key, you can enter the crypt through Dalera's Graveyard in House Tarrasque and run one of this year's Night Rebels quest, of course, to run the things. But I'm confused about this as well. Because if you don't need the key, can you just walk up and go into the quest anyway? Which is how I read that. I tried to make time to hop on to see how this worked, but I unfortunately didn't have time to get on. Because what confuses me is they say once you have acquired a key, enter the crypt through the Dalera's Graveyard. The only thing I can think of is they're giving you the chance in dungeons when you just are requesting regularly. Keys might be in chest. And then if you have those champions, they might drop the keys. So I think you still need the keys to get in the dungeons. You just don't need to farm them. That's not the only way to get them. You don't have to farm Dalera's to get the keys. You can have a chance to get them otherwise, I guess.
I suppose that's a possibility.
Because, like I said, I unfortunately didn't get a chance to get on. Somebody is probably yelling right now, "You are so stupid. It works like this." Down in the comments, type away on YouTube and tell me how stupid I am for not knowing this, but I'm assuming that's how it works. I think you can just get the keys elsewhere other than Dalera's. I would still guess Dalera's is your best way to get them, but like I said, I haven't had a chance to get in game yet. But anyway, go run the dungeons, get the rewards, blah, blah, blah. That's same as last year. Oh, go ahead.
If your best source is from the special champions, then and most likely special champions are only going to appear on the harder
Right.
difficulties.
It has to be harder above before a
Right.
champion will be in a
So
dungeon.
therefore your chances of getting a key in a regular dungeon at normal is probably going to be minuscule at best.
Minuscule at best because they say they do. There is a small chance for them to drop in
Yeah.
the end chest. So yeah, but if you run anything at hard or above, which when I'm not with you, I do. So I mean, to me, I'm gonna see the champion, but I know we don't ever run stuff on hard. So we might see some keys drop in regular chat. I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be kind of interesting to see how many keys we get. There is some new stuff this year. There is a new color Reaper armor. I don't know what the color is because, like I said, I didn't get a chance to get in. I kind of poked around on the forum a little bit today when I got home from work and didn't see anybody stating what it was. So if anybody knows what the new color is, comment down below as well for that too. That would be lovely. Then they do note in here too, ingredients from the 2019-2020 Night Rebels events have now spoiled. So go out and get new stuff is the moral of that story.
Now, did you see anything about there being a new dungeon?
I did not see anything about a new dungeon, so I don't think there is a new dungeon. I think all that is new is the new color Reaper's plate mail. Oh, there's a new cloak and a helm too. But other than that, I do not think there is a dungeon, which is kind of sad. I was kind of hoping we would get a new dungeon this year, but maybe next year. There's always next year.
Always next year.
So that was what the main thing of the patch was. There was some other stuff as well in our update, which was 50.4. And this update did come out last Thursday as we record this. Several spell-like abilities in the Favorite Soul and the Eldritch Knights enhancement trees are now properly enforcing the global cooldown. Vistani Knife Fighter's Deadly Blades no longer sticks around for longer than it should. Boo, I say. Boo. Boo. Boo to this release note.
Okay.
Featherfall. Okay, I kind of liked that was working like that. Was it working as intended? No, not at all. Featherfall augments items no longer toggle off Warlock's Celestial Spirit. Sovereign Lightning Strike now works consistently. Random and Kenneth Crafted Loot now has their correct W score. A variety of heroic Red Fence items now have their correct stats and set bonuses. That is always good. The Truthful Bow set now provides its correct amount of fortification bypass.
What? It's being truthful now?
I see what you did there. Void the Endless Cold is now dealing cold damage again. That's handy. Seeing it's the end. Yeah, okay. The Crocodile Maw hand wraps now properly take sentience. That's good. There is exciting news until I seen the price of it.
Oh.
There's a Nightmare mount in the DDO store. I was like, oh, Nightmare mount. I'm all about this. Only available in the DDO store. The Nightmare mount is. It's called the Bone Devil Nightmare mount. You can go in the DDO store to look for it.
All right. How much?
2,495 DDO points.
Yeah.
2,500 DDO points.
Well, that sounds typical.
Yeah. I'm looking at my available points and I'm like, ooh, I have that. I wouldn't probably miss that because I've been banking points forever because we all know the only thing I spend my points on is Gold Seal Hirelings. That's all I spend points on.
Right.
But I'm like, 2,500. But this horse looks so sweet though. And it's a Nightmare mount. It's like, it's me. It's like, I think they like made this for me and they're like, he'll bite us if we make this, right? I know he will.
Especially considering that the other, something that will be in the next set of release notes.
And then there's also various mounts that were added to the DDO store as well. Keep in mind, a couple of those mounts, that are in the DDO store, you can get in-game if you trade in the feathers in Keep of the Borderlands, like the Chestnut mount. It's in the store. You can get that for feathers. So just kind of go to the stable and to keep on the Borderlands, look at the horses you can barter for feathers before you plan to buy other horses in the store. And I didn't look at what other horses cost. I actually just saw on Reddit actually how much the Nightmare mount cost. So that's how I knew that. So I was like, oh yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
can't say because those won't be premium horses, and usually the non-premium horses cost significantly less. The Nightmare mount sounds like well, it's priced as a premium one. And it sounds like a name for a premium mount, so I could see that one being 2,500. But I can't
Right.
see
Yeah.
something that you can get in game
Yeah.
for
I
feathers.
wouldn't think. I mean, I would. I'm just throwing a number out here, but I'm assuming they're probably like 495, maybe 395, 495. Like I said, I didn't look to make sure, so I'll try to look maybe next week. I will look before the show next week and find out. So there you have it. Then the Boromir Muscle Dragonborn from Sharn now have had their appearance updated so that their outfit displays properly. They fixed an issue with a Sharn welcome that could cause a lag to occur. So that's always good. Couple spell fixes. Creeping Doom and Enveloping Swarm now are internally typed as acid spells. Okay. Dragonborn can now properly use Druid's Cold Breath spells. And a few other things. Crafting storage no longer cuts off the maximum capacity if you have a lot of it. I don't have that much crafting storage, so I never had that problem. But to all of you that did, congratulations. That is now fixed. Pressing the loot all in a chest will now also loot bound, unpassable ingredients such as Threads of Fate and Raid Runes without requiring you to loot them on their own. Thank the Lord for this. Oh, that always annoyed me. It's like, just give me that stuff. If I said loot all, I wanted it all. So, it's those small little quality of life stuff that it's like, why didn't you do this from the beginning? Items in your inventory are no longer affected by random durability loss from the combat flow. And there is a couple known issues, which we're going to talk about in a second. the Jawbreaker Cosmetic Tower Shield mistakenly listed as non-existent recipe for Jacoby Orb Cosmetic. If you're mousing over the entry, it will show the correct tooltip, and players who complete the recipe will still receive the shield. And a new Nightmare mount that was intended to be available in the Daily Dice is not currently available, but stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And speaking of that, apparently there is an update 50.4.1. What a coincidence.
There was today, as a matter of fact, Thursday, October 21st. There was downtime this morning for this small little eensy-beensy patch. The release notes are as follows. The Luck of the Night Rebels buff for the Elixir of Spooky now properly reflects the bonus it gives as 10%. The Jawbreaker Cosmetic Tower Shield offered by the Night Rebels vendor now has the correct recipe instead of showing a cosmetic. So there you go. That is fixed. And remember that Nightmare mount that wasn't in the Daily Dice we just talked about? It's in the Daily Dice now. Or no, I'm sorry, it is not. The team is working to identify and correct the situation. Oh, I'm sorry.
For those affected, for those who
I read that wrong.
won
Yes.
it and didn't get delivered to them.
Yeah, so if you were lucky enough, which I hate all of you if you were lucky enough for that. I mean, I like you, but I hate you. If you rolled 100 on your Daily Dice and you got a Nightmare amount, which I will never, ever do, ever.
Are you sure?
Yeah, finally, come on.
Okay. You might roll 100, but getting the mount would be.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll just tease you. It'll give you a different mount instead.
Maybe I'll get the red skeleton steed that's not in the game, but they'll probably do that. Lotro drugs, people. If you listen to Lotro Players News, you'll know what I'm talking about.
So you're saying then that if you want a Nightmare mount, you have to spend 2,500.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. So if you see me riding around on one, I ponied up 2,500 points for one. So yeah, so maybe you'll get it through Daily Dice. Not I, but maybe you. And if you got it and you didn't get it, they're working to correct it, and you should get it because you won it. So congratulations. There you go.
Let's then head on to Extra Life 2021, where Team Standing Stone Games is getting ready to start. It's a little bit late, but
Better late than never, Pinely. Yes, Extra Life. We have talked about this in the years past. Everybody knows what Extra Life is. Everybody knows Standing Stone Games always has an Extra Life team. And if you would like to donate, we're going to have links in the show notes to locate either donate. If I can speak, that would help. Donate to Team Standing Stone Games as a whole, or of course you can donate just to Jerry if you want to donate directly through him. As always, there is group incentives to donate. If they do $5,000, which they have already done, they're going to give away 10 500 DDO point codes and 10 picks from the community list loot. It's going to be randomly distributed to people who donated at least $10. So as long as you give at least $10, you'll be in the running for that. And then, of course, there is other incentives as well. We will link the list so you can see that. So it's just like last year's past. It's the same thing. So, yeah, like I said, if you want to join Team Standing Stone, you can join the team and partake in Extra Life. Or if not, just give the money. And as of October the 21st, as we record this, Team Standing Stone has raised $10,843. That is pretty darn good. And then
they'll have to update their post then because it doesn't say 10,000's done yet.
Oh, yeah, and they are going to have to update that. And then as of right now, as of recording time, just Jerry himself has raised 2,470, and his goal is actually 3,000, so he is almost to his goal. And Standing Stone doesn't have a goal listed, actually, but that's awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. The goal is $20,000. If I would have scrolled up, I would have seen that. So, yeah, they are just about halfway to the goal. So, good job. And it looks like there is quite a few people that are actually on Standing Stone, Team Standing Stone. So, good job. So, and then you can go over and you can donate directly to the people that are on the team if you would like. You can donate directly to Standing Stone, or why not just donate to your favorite person and Standing Stone as well. Or donate to everybody. You know, it's for the kids. Why not?
Right, and that takes care of Extra Life, and that also takes care of our game news for this week. So let's head on and see what's coming in from the dungeon. Where there is a new hardcover Dungeons & Dragons Critical Role Call to the Netherdeep coming.
Yes, yay, new books, and yay, Critical Role books. This was announced. It is coming March 15th of 2022, so it is the first major book that's coming out for next year. This, of course, is inspired by the campaigns of the wildly successful Critical Role. Call of the Netherdeep is the first major adventure module within the world of Exendra, and it brings a thrilling new campaign for the world's greatest role-playing game. I hate how they use those words. It is so pretentious and so annoying to me that they always say that.
Oh well.
It just bugs me so much. But what are you gonna do? This contains 7 chapters of gripping adventure, new creatures, new magic items. You're gonna have a poster, and of course, it's gonna introduce some new rival NPCs for you as well. As I said, look for the hardcover March 15th, 2022. So if you're into Critical Role, you're gonna want this. Maybe if you're not into Critical Role, you might still want it too, but I think this is aimed more towards Critical Role than anything else.
And it looks like we also have a new D&D Icons of the Realms, and this is a gargantuan Tarrasque. Is there any other type of Tarrasque?
I thought that too when I got this press release. I'm like, that's kind of an oxymoron because you're talking about a Tarrasque, but sure, okay. Yes, this is the new statue from WizKids. WizKids have been bringing these out left and right. You know, they had the hand and the eye of Vecna that they did. They had Red Dragon they did. Well, now you gotta get the Tarrasque. and everybody wants a Tarrasque, right? This is going to be available September of next year, so you got to wait just a little bit. This is going to stand over 11 inches tall, and it's 15.5 inches. They say final dimensions are subject to change. But the thing is, as it stands now, I didn't mean to say that, but pun there, 15.5 inches from its gnashing maw to its tail. So it's 11 inches tall and about 16 inches. This thing is huge, which of course makes sense because it's the Tarrasque. It's the monster that no one wants to see plop down on a table if you're playing D&D.
Definitely not.
With its 33 D20 plus 330 hit points.
Yeah, it's. I think the first time I saw the picture of this, I think it was in the original Monster Manual, the first edition Monster
Yeah,
Manual.
that's probably about the first time I saw a
Yeah,
picture one too.
and because of the weight, because of how huge the Tarrasque was and all of that, it was hard for me to just assimilate what was happening in that picture.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can say I have only ever fought one time. I
Oh,
had
good.
one DM that was like, "Yeah, but I got something for you." Yeah, we didn't last very long at all. I've never actually killed one. I wonder. That brings up a good point. I wonder how many people can actually say they've actually killed a Tarrasque, legitimately killed one. Not like, the DM was like, okay, yeah, sure, you guys killed it. Because if it's a true Tarrasque, unless they've changed it, which I haven't looked at the 5e Tarrasque that much. I mean, I've kind of glanced over it. But it used to be in old school D&D, the only way to actually kill one was with a wish spell.
With a wish spell.
I mean, they were hard enough to beat down because they have all sorts of resistances and they can knock off saving throws and they're resistant to a bunch of stuff. So it was hard enough to beat one down. But if you managed to beat one down, you actually couldn't kill it unless you had a wish spell. That's how it used to be. Like I said, I don't know how it is. I'll have to grab my 5e monster manual and look and see if it's still like that. But yeah, wow.
Oh, so it's not like the one from Legend, which was vulnerable to holy water.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it laughs at you when you throw holy water.
It'll laugh at you.
It's
Okay.
like, really? That's all you got? All right, whatever. So yeah, if you want this gargantuan statue, like I said, next September, $400 is what it's gonna set you back. Which is
$400 to scare your players to death.
yeah, exactly. Can you imagine if you plop this down and your players would just be like, "Nope, I'm out." That's a big nope. I'm noping right out of here.
All right. That is it for what's coming in from the dungeon. And actually, I would think that the Tarrasque would be carrying the dungeon on its back. So let's see
True.
what's on the tabletop. Where we had a large number of Gen Con 2021 videos that were published from all various different vendors that you've spoken with.
We did, yeah. We did a lot of videos this year. What did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We had 10 videos this year. Just really quickly. And I linked all of these in the show notes if you happen to miss the videos when they popped up on the site. Conveniently linked for you, so you can just go over in the show notes, click on them, and watch them if you so wish to. We talked to 1985 games, 25th century games, barrel-aged games, DB games, CGE, Chex Games Edition. Also talked to a company called Crawl Space and Critters. They make edible gummies, restoration games, Japan anime games, and then we didn't talk to a game company, but we talked to a gaming charity aimed at military people called Stack Up.
All right. My question is,
Sure.
I presume that I know this is a silly point in there, but I can only imagine that gamers are not particularly picky eaters if they are going to be having edible gummy figures that you put onto the playing surface and all that stuff, and that you eat them if you kill the monster.
Right. It was kind of cool actually. It's like I didn't think when I first started talking to the guy, I was like, why would anybody want this? But then I was thinking, I'm like, okay, this would be awesome though. Like you kill the goblin. I killed it. I eat it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's actually kind of awesome. And they come in nice little packs and they're nice. That Kickstarter is running now actually if you want to back that Kickstarter for those. But yeah, it's kind of an odd idea, but then if you think about it, it's kind of a cool idea.
Definitely odd. All right. Let's then go and see what's on the screen. Where GeForce has announced several popular shows that are coming back via TV and streaming. And what do you mean by popular shows?
Well, it's popular to some people. You're going to be like, what? Who? What show? What show is this now? Yeah, we talked about G4 was launching yet again. It's been a while since we talked about it. We actually know that it's coming November 16th as well. That's new as well. We didn't know what date it was coming, but they did kind of announce some popular shows from G4 Days of Yore that are coming back. Of course, Attack of the Show is coming back with host Kevin Pereira. I just wish Olivia Munn or Candace Bailey or Sarah Underwood was coming back too, but they only announced Kevin. I mean, it's still cool. I loved Attack of the Show. It's just not going to be the same without those three, but I'll give it a chance. Also, X-Play's coming back with Adam Sessler. No Morgan Webb, unfortunately. But again, I'm going to give it a chance. Also, Boosted is going to be a new show. That's going to be a weekly esports comedy series. Ninja Warrior is coming back. So if you're a fan of Ninja Warrior, which debuted on G4 back in the day, there you go. New episodes of Ninja Warrior coming. Also, ESL Gaming is also coming. G4 is partnered with ESL Gaming. That is the world's leading esports and gaming lifestyles company to produce several broadcasts of primetime esports programs. This is going to be a first for ESL Gaming in the US and Canada. So you can actually watch your ESL game tournaments and stuff on G4. And then they also announced something called Dungeons and Dragons Limited Series. This is coming off the immensely popular success of the D&D Live 2021 that they just did. G4 and Wizards partnered up to do the last D&D Live that just happened. It was pretty popular. People seem to like it. So G4 is going to have some D&D on as well. Folks like Jack Black, Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Smith, and Dr. Lupo and more are going to be partnering up with Wizards of the Coast, and it's going to be a limited run series coming this fall on G4. It's going to have 4 campaigns with a mix of G4 talent, veteran D&D players, and some celebrities for your D&D fans out there. So that's going to be interesting to watch as well. You can get more information by going over to the G4 site. And they did announce too, which is another new thing, that how you're going to be able to watch G4. G4 programming is going to debut on Verizon Fios, Cox, and Xfinity TV. Also, it's going to be on streaming services like Philo. And of course, they're going to be having a Twitch channel as well, where all of the G4 Network stuff is going to be on their Twitch channel as well. So you have several different options. So you can watch it on TV via Verizon, Fios, Cox, or Xfinity. And then if you have Philo, you'll be able to watch it via Philo as well, which yay for that, because that's how I'm going to watch it, because I have Philo.
All right, then let's head into our week in gaming. Chirac, what were you up to?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Nothing. I wish I could say, oh, I did this and I did this and I did this. Yeah, I didn't do nothing. It's long, complicated story, but TLDR version, nada.
0.0.
Very well, then I will talk about what I did with my artificer, where I went on against the slavers. Slavers Part 1. That particular dungeon, I think it has a way of annoying me more and more every time I do it.
I think you say that every time you do it. As a matter of fact. Because I see that in the show notes and I'm like, he did it again.
Yeah, I had done Temple Part 1. I didn't bother Part 2. So it's got, okay, and now I'm level 8. Let's try the slavers. And that room that has the canal with the narrow ledges, with the air trap, with the skeleton snipers constantly shooting at you.
Yeah, that's a fun part.
And I'm trying to think, all right, how do I get through there when I'm not playing an artificer?
Yeah, that would kind of be tough.
Because I'm like, all I had to do is I had to go play the snipe game with the skeletons, drop back, get some heals from my heal, because I told my NPC to stay back since.
Smart idea.
Yeah. Then I went back, did a little bit more sniping, back and forth, back. After I got rid of the first 2 skeletons, then go up. And now from the other, try to get the ones who are in the back. So the artificer is good at long range combat. Good. I was able to do that, and I could disable the air traps. But if I try to, okay, what other class can do both of those? I guess some.
I can't think of anything other than Rogue or Artie.
Yeah, and the rogues don't have very good range, because rogues, they're not allowed to use longbows, right? Or
you can. It depends. You can you can do it because all my rogues use longbows.
all your bows. Okay, your rogues do use them. I guess because I'm thinking back at some earlier edition where rogues definitely couldn't use longbows.
Right? Yeah, you have to do some fiddling with it and pick up some feats, or depending on what race or whatever you are. But
you're buying the martial weapon bow feat then.
Yes, correct.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I did that. Then I got all the way to the end of the dungeon, and it was like zip, Cuisinart dead.
After all that,
it's like, and it's not a dungeon that you could readily. It's like, because it's a long dungeon as it is. So even if I were able to go back into it and enter in the Indian, if it didn't reset or anything like that, even if it did not reset, I would have to go all the way through that dungeon again in order to get to that boss, and hope that this time I just gave up. So I ran Mirror Sleepless Nights instead, finished that, and then the Grave Robber. That's where I am on that character. For tabletop games, I started playing Pandemic Legacy Season 0, so I've ran the prologue and January on that. So I'm having a bit of fun on that. Pandemic Legacy Season 0 has a number of differences from Pandemic, as you can guess. The fact that it's a legacy game and all that stuff, where it's set in the Cold War era in the early 60s.
I was just about to ask. That's the one that's in the Cold War, right?
All right, that's the one in the Cold War.
I thought so. I've never played any of the pandemic legacies.
Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed Season 1, though. Well, most of that.
From what I hear, Season 1 is the best one.
Right. I know there are some people who think that Season 2 is better, but I could not finish Season 2. Halfway through Season 2, it just reached my point of, oh my goodness gracious. It just gave me, okay, I know we're talking about world crisis and things going wrong and stuff like this, but at least fill me with something other than despair as I'm going through it.
Well, sure.
Yeah. And I also played some Commands and Colors Tricorn Jacobite Rising. So this is my first time playing Jacobite Rising in here. And what has found interesting during this playthrough is that the Jacobites, as you would guess, have a large percentage of Highland troops in there. And Highlanders are known for their charge. Now, I have encountered them to some limited degree when playing the American Revolution and playing that one, the War of American Independence. When playing that particular one, I was never impressed with the Highlanders. Probably because there are only one or two of them, and one or two Highlanders coming in for a charge just doesn't have that same epic feel. But in this case, we had this mass of Highlander troops coming down, charging upon the British, and they ripped apart the government lines to pieces. I have never seen a center in a Commands and Colors game be so devastated.
Oh, jeez.
So I look at this, I say, oh, now that's impressive. So yes, I finally saw the Highlanders in their full glory in that particular playthrough on there. And that concludes my week in gaming. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help DDO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you like send one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You also follow us at Twitter. The Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Dracula_72, and Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles. The Players Alliance has two shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have Lojo Players News. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And remember, DDO Players News podcast can now be found on Amazon Music and Audible. That is all for tonight, and this is Polyleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.